Hey,
Hello,
Gianni, can
hello.
you hear me okay?
Yeah, I think so. Hi, how are you?
Great, and yourself there?
I'm doing pretty good. It's very windy. I don't know if you can hear that.
I
No?
can't hear, but the key is you showed up, you were on time.
Uh,
Actors are not always on time, so I guess you're better than most.
I tried getting here 5 minutes early just because my Wi-Fi is very bad. So, thank
No
you. Appreciate
problem.
it. Yeah.
Well,
All right. Cool.
in this household, we are big fans of yours.
Oh, thank
We,
you.
of course, discovered you on Cobra Kai, but the YouTube version. So I guess, we're originals on that end. And
Okay.
one thing to your credit, I don't think that people realize this. You've been in more scenes and had more interactions with more characters than just about anybody. Because,
Yeah, has it?
well, think about it. We've seen you in the Cobra Kai dojo. We've seen you at Miyagi-Do. We've seen you at the school. We've seen you at the teenage parties and all that. Not
Yeah.
everybody's been in everything like you. Has that ever come to realization for you?
I'll be honest, I had no idea until you just mentioned it, but it makes sense now that you say it. Yeah, I've been flipping back and forth from like Cobra Kai to Miyagi-Do for a little bit now. So it's not until season 2 that I finally found my home at Miyagi-Do.
But what I'm getting at is sometimes you don't think about it as a fan of a show,
Uh,
that these two characters may talk about each other, but they've never actually met on screen. It looks like you've met everybody on screen on the show.
I would say just about a lot of those interactions end negatively. You know, I met Kreese, he kind of broke my nose. Johnny flipped me, but you know, I kind of deserve that one. But yeah, I think I've met just about every character. I worked at the LaRusso auto dealership. Yeah.
When you got the show, were you a big fan of Karate Kid? Because I know that you're Magic the Gathering. That's not far off from the Karate Kid.
Yeah. I had seen The Karate Kid a couple of times growing up, but it wasn't as much my thing as it was, you know, my dad, because it was his thing growing up. It came out like he was there to see the big boom of karate dojos after
Sure.
Karate Kid came out. So I liked the show, but it just wasn't really my medium, I guess. Like you
I
said,
can
it was
imagine.
yeah.
I can imagine. Well, I mean, age-wise, like the Karate Kid went from being super cool and
Uh,
mainstream to then being an old movie to
uh,
then being kind of cool in retrospect.
uh,
And what I gather is that viral video that kind of proved that Johnny Lawrence was the good guy, that was not only the turning point in the coolness, but also the
yeah.
inspiration of the show.
Yeah, I guess so. A lot of people would also think like, I don't know if you saw How I Met Your Mother. They had a guest spot on there, and it was kind of this whole thing of like, oh, Johnny's the good guy. I don't know if that was also kind of inspiration for it.
Yeah.
But I feel bad because like I had heard stories that William Zabka, when he would go to Comic Cons, he would get booed because they're like, oh, you're the bad guy. It's like, guys, it's just a show. It's not real. But now, ever since like Cobra Kai comes out, they're all like cheering him on. So, you know, that must feel really good.
Absolute vindication. I've had the pleasure of interviewing him, and he was
Oh,
as
yeah.
nice as can be. Not everyone realizes like his dad was a director on the Tonight Show, and he's
Oh,
from
wow.
this like entertainment kind of family. Now, you yourself, I believe, are an LA native. Do you have any
Yeah.
ties to entertainment besides acting?
Well, the reason why I kind of got into acting was because it's very much a part of my family. My parents were actually actors, and they actually met in an acting class. My dad,
Wow.
like, yeah, I know. He actually proposed to my mom during like an acting scene. Everyone was just like watching, and she was like, "This scene's not that great. What are you guys looking at?" It gets down on one knee. It's like, "Will you marry me?" So yeah, it's a big part of my family. Um, so that's kind of why I got into it when I was 8 years old. I just walked up to my parents and was like, "Hey, when am I going to be on TV?" And so I guess the rest is history there.
At what age did you get your SAG card?
Oh, see, it's a weird thing with the SAG card. You have to like do 3 union jobs in order to get it, but you can't do union jobs unless you have a SAG
Yeah,
card. So it's like a catch-22 sort of thing.
totally.
But because I was younger, I think I was around 10 or so. I was able to get by because, you know, as a little kid, they're going to figure, hey, you're not going to have your SAG card. So they'll write you off and give you the
Taft Hartley, I think
vouchers.
it's called.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I was able to do that. And that was originally just the intention behind doing this. Like my parents was like, okay, so we'll start this whole thing. Maybe he'll get his SAG card, might make a few bucks to get a car one day. We never thought it would ever get to this level. But I'm really happy to be a part of this.
Speaking of cars, there was that great Elon Musk tweet that you responded to.
Yeah.
Did anybody
Yeah.
from his team get back to you in any way?
No.
No.
Still waiting. I'm still waiting on that flamethrower. I'll let you know though. If I get one, I'll post about it. Don't worry. It won't be a
Fantastic.
secret.
But we did see you post on Instagram about the car that you got. So at least
Yes.
a car did come into your life.
Yes, I got a Toyota CHR. Some people say that Toyota is a luxury brand in its own right.
Definitely. They last a long damn time.
Yeah.
The car I have is an '05 Toyota and still going.
Well, all right. There we go. All right, my Toyota brethren. Yeah.
Exactly. So in only speaking to you for 5 minutes or so, I see that there's almost no ties between you and Demetri. Demetri's maybe one of the most grating characters in the history of television. Is there any Demetri in you, or is it based off of anybody?
I would say 100%. There's a lot of Demetri in me. I'm obviously not as like sarcastic and stuff like that. But when it comes to the nerdier aspect, like you said, with Magic the Gathering, I do identify with Demetri a lot there. There was the mall scene where we have the mall fight, and I'm in the comic book store.
Yeah.
We actually had to go to that mall the day before to rehearse that, and I ended up kind of spending all my time in the comic book store. So
when I was your age, which is not as many years ago as you think, but anyway, it was not cool to like Magic or comics. Like you kind of had to hide it in a way. For your whole life, has it been okay to like comics outwardly?
Yeah, I think so. My dad growing up, he was really into the Dungeons and Dragons, stuff like that. My stuff was obviously more like Magic the Gathering. But I don't think there's been a lot of hate coming from people as far as that goes. I think it's really kind of been accepted as like this cool pop culture sort of thing. You go to the stores. There are some cards out there that are worth like $500,000. Like it's called Black Lotus. I want that card, but I'm not willing to spend that much money.
No. I mean, when I was even much younger than you, baseball cards were all the rage and everyone's collecting. And then it was later found out that they lied about the number then that they were making, and the values were totally inflated the whole time, except maybe that Honus Wagner card that like Wayne Gretzky and 4 people have.
So they lied about how many they were making.
That was part of it. I guess there's no way of verifying the whole thing. And then like they were overproduced, which was, I guess, what killed it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. It's hard to like not fall into that temptation. Like, hey guys, if we make one card, we get like $500,000. Why not just make a whole bunch of these cards? But then it loses its value.
Exactly. Well, is there anything that you do collect besides comics?
Knives. That sounds threatening. I'm sorry. No. But yes, knives. I have in my room, there's a drawer full of knives. Still not threatening, I promise. I just like to collect them because they're both like so beautiful and yet dangerous, if that makes sense. Like there are different ways the blade can be formed or the handle itself. Sure. I have one knife that looks like Harry Potter's scar. It's just like this jagged, like back and forth thing. It has absolutely no practical use. It's just cool. And whenever I go to like thrift stores or stuff like that, I usually try to find some sort of vintage knife, something like that.
Wow. So Ginsu would be too mainstream for you. Am I correct?
What is that? What is that?
Ginsu are the cooking knives you see that they use in hibachi grilling kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm more into the unpractical, like that stuff that does not work knives. That's that kind of stuff. The stuff that I'm scared to take out of its sheath because otherwise I'll break it.
Sheath is a hell of a word. Credit to you on using the word sheath correctly. And back to Cobra Kai. Also, in peeling through your social media, we see a great photo of you and William Zabka at Target.
Yeah.
Are you close with a lot of the people in the cast? And I ask that because some people are like, well, we made it, and then I'll see them at the next season. Other people are like, no, we're family.
Yeah. I would say I'm more so close with the younger cast, especially just because, we're around the same age. Jacob, who plays Hawk, he actually taught me how to play Magic the Gathering. I would say.
Really?
Yeah, a lot during season 2, we would go over, me, Jacob, and Sholo. We would play Magic the Gathering, and I had no idea how to play. So when I would go there, I'd spend about 2 hours just getting my ass kicked. So, but now I think I'm ready. I think I'm good enough. But yeah, we definitely try to like stay close, hang out a lot. Yeah.
It looked like your girlfriend was getting the best of you on Magic the Gathering recently on social media as well.
I told you not to bring that up. Yeah. Yeah, no, I taught her, and literally the week later, she is like beating me 3 times in a row with my own deck.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm not as good as I thought.
Better than me. Take that compliment right there. And Jacob, who you just mentioned, Hawk, that kills a little bit of a mystique right there. But how similar is he to the evil, dark Hawk character?
Oh, they're completely the same. He's a total ass. He like makes fun of me all the time. Just a jerk. No, he's very different. It's like night and day. Like I said, though, he is a nerd like me. We obviously like to play Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. But he's nothing like Hawk. Like, he's just absolutely the nicest guy you could ever meet. Super great. So, thank God.
You have a great pivotal scene, without giving any spoilers away to the 3 people that haven't seen the show. But when you give the toast to him at the house party and you call him that as Eli Moskowitz and all that, it's a very memorable scene. Did you know that was that memorable when you were just reading it off the page?
Honestly, I had no idea that it would be like that memorable of a scene. Like, it wasn't the first time I had the chance to do a sort of monologue like that, because I love doing those so much. And the writing team, John, Josh, Hayden, they give me a lot to work with. But going into it, I didn't think it would be like that pivotal of a scene. I was just going into it having fun, because like it really is just like me going up on stage in front of an audience roasting a guy. And I don't have to feel bad because that guy doesn't actually exist. So I can be as mean as I want.
So do you have stand-up aspirations beyond acting?
I've never really thought about doing stand-up. My dad was super into it. He would make jokes all the time about my mom. He'd be like, I got my wife a taser for Christmas. She didn't even put batteries in it. She just beat me with it. Stuff like that. So I don't know. I think eventually one day I could do sort of stand-up, but I think my first passion is going to be on-screen TV and movies, stuff like that.
Well, I got 3 quick questions for you if you still got some time for me.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. The first one is, when you look at some people's IMDb pages, it is up to date. It's like they took a breath post-production. And then other people, it's kind of secretive. It's not updated. For you, Cobra Kai is like the last thing or 2 on there. Are there other projects, or is really the main focus Cobra Kai?
Well, things have kind of been a little slow, especially with COVID going on, but more so my height and my age didn't match for the longest time. Like, I was 17 years old, but I still looked like I was like 20 or something like that. And in this industry, you want people that are older that can play younger. So I've been doing a little bit of stuff. More recently, I did a Disney show called Coop and Cammy. I did a couple of guest stars on there. I was playing a nerd named Caleb, very monotone speaking kind of a character. But I would say more so recently, the biggest focus has been kind of Cobra Kai, especially with things being so slow right now.
Got it. More credit to you. I mean, if there was one thing to hang your hat on, how many shows are cooler than Cobra Kai to 3 generations of people? I would argue, you don't have to agree if you don't agree, but it might be the best reboot that we've gotten in the last 5 to 10 years for TV.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing that's so great about this show is it doesn't rely on the Karate Kid. Like, it takes pieces from it, obviously, but it's a show that can kind of stand on its own. It doesn't solely rely on nostalgia to get views. It has its own like story arc, like we see with Hawk and Demetri, stuff like that. It's got its own plots. So I would agree with you that it's one of the best reboots that there has been.
Saved by the Bell is pretty fantastic, but nobody's talking about that, unfortunately, like they are Cobra Kai. So
yeah.
Credit to you guys on that. Question number 2 of 3. Okay. Who is Gianni's favorite band of all time?
Easily White Stripes. I was almost going to say Jack Black. He's one of the lead. He's the lead singer.
Not Jack White. But, Jack Black. No.
Wait. Oh, sorry. Jack White. I get them mixed up. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Restart. The White Stripes. Jack White. and Meg White. They are easily my favorite band. I listen to just about every album they have. I even listen to Jack White's breakaway songs and stuff like that. I don't know. I just really have always liked rock and roll, especially the more classic rock stuff.
Sure.
It just really speaks to me. If you ask me to name a current day song, I don't think I could.
Good man. Coming from a guy wearing a Kiss t-shirt. Good
I
man.
saw that. Yeah.
And the closer for you, any last words for the kids?
Hi. If you ever have a karate dojo out to get you, just become friends with your own karate dojo, because then they got your back. And also, Magic the Gathering isn't lame. It's cool. Play it.
Agreed on all ends. Well, really,
Yeah.
keep up all the great success. Looking forward to seeing you in season 3 and everything else you got coming up.
Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you for talking with me.
Have a great rest of the day, and we'll get this live in the next couple of days, man. Take care.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right, bye.
Thanks.
Paltrocast. Paltrocast.